Nation.
SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Welcome back, Spartan Nation Radio. Time for the State of Michigan State Sports. We bring in Spartan Nation senior writer Johnny Shop. John, how are you?
Doing pretty well, Hondo. We're right into spring. NFL draft complete. Good time of year.
John, there is so much to talk about with NBA, draft, recruiting, all of it, so I'm going to let you take it away on the State of Michigan State.
Well, we haven't talked about the spring game yet, so let's go ahead and start there. You know, when you look at spring games, they always seem a little bit geared to one position's favor, maybe more than others, given what is done with the playbook and who's playing where. So you look at Michigan State, you thought the defensive backs look good. I think they're kind of geared to look good. The offensive line looked better than awful, but how much worse could they have been than last year? Not too much. So that kind of was expected. I didn't think the quarterbacks looked very good. I did not see any kind of yip out of Brian Lewerke, but I did not see a very strong arm. And I didn't see a fantastic performance from Rocky Lombardi. And I'm not sure that Theo Day wasn't the best guy out there. So the quarterbacks did not look too good to me. Defense, of course, looked good. Special teams made a couple of blips, but again, it's kind of a quirky game for that. So you come out of the spring game, you look at Michigan State, you think their defense is going to be really good. Their special teams, I think, is going to be even better than last year. But the offense has so much to get better at. I don't know if they'll be able to compete to win the Big Ten East this year or not. Out of the spring game, I can't make that confirmation that that's how it's going to play out.
John, did anything stick out for you, bad or good, from the spring game? I mean, anything really stick out?
The defensive backs being really good stuck out. I try not to let too much stick out. You know, 79, Khalifa, the offensive lineman, was interesting to me. And Hayes, number 4, looked pretty good as well. But I don't take too much stock in it. If you want to say what stood out, I did not see elite arm strength in that game. I just didn't see it. Maybe I wasn't looking right, but that's the one thing that stood out to me was besides the pass selection of when to throw and when not to, dangerous or not, I didn't see balls getting in there safely ahead of defensive backs.
All right, John, let's talk about Nick Ward's decision to go. God bless him if that's what he wants to do. We wish him nothing but the best. But give me your thoughts on the Nick going, Cassius not even looking, all of it.
Well, I imagine that Cassius Winston could get the information that he needed to get without officially looking into the NBA draft, and I trust that he got that information, and that's good. I think he made the wise and best decision for his pro career, and obviously he's got an amazing chance to put some all-time numbers for college. Nick Ward, I don't expect to be drafted at all. There's a major difference between being an NBA draft pick and having an NBA career. I expect he's going to get a chance to play professional basketball. My guess would be it may be for a couple years outside of the NBA. And as long as he can live with that, I think it's an okay decision. I'm not sure Nick Ward would have been able to accept the role he would have been stuck in Spartan basketball next season. So it's understandable that he would want to leave. I just hope that he's done that for the right reasons and understands the path that he's headed down. And to this point, I trust that he does.
Great point on your part. We're talking to the one, the only, the John Shop, Spartan Nation senior writer. John, talk about the NFL draft with Michigan State.
Well, first of all, did you see all the folks in Nashville, Tennessee? Holy cow. I never would have expected that many, even for a great city that's great at those events. Famous New Year's Eve Nashville puts on. What a crowd that they had at the NFL draft. I just don't know about Kyler Murray at the top. We can talk about that if we want to, but Michigan State, guys kind of went where we thought they might go. You have a range where you expect guys to go, and both Justin Lane and Corey Willis kind of fell in there. I didn't think Felton Davis would be drafted because of the nature of his injury, the recovery time, and just the 7-round draft that they have now. And I would have bet all the money in the world that L.J. Scott wouldn't be drafted either. L.J. Scott has durability issues. He's got agility issues. He's got a real long road to make himself into a professional football player. It's good that he's going to get an opportunity early with the Ravens. I hope he does whatever he can with it, but I am 0% surprised that neither Davis nor Scott were drafted. Of course, if Felton Davis does not get injured, I'm sure he's drafted and probably drafted in the top half or right around the halfway point of that draft. So it was a good weekend for Michigan State. Next year, it's going to be a lot of Spartans, I think. More Spartans drafted next year. A lot of defensive line and defensive players are going to be up there. And I believe that both Lane and Willis have landed in pretty good spots. Now they got to go to work.
Totally agree with you. We're talking to Spartan Nation senior writer Johnny Shop, the one, the only, the iconic one. I want to hit a very important topic because it's not a Michigan State one, but it does impact Michigan State. You know this because there's things I have shared with you privately because you're a writer for us that I'm not going to go out and share publicly. But the constant recruits that Michigan State basketball has lost to dirty recruiting.
Yeah.
I named 3 of them a couple of years ago. I didn't name the players, but I told the situation. I know one player who got on his knees in front of Coach Izzo and other people and begged his mom to let him come to Michigan State. She was getting paid by another school. Michigan State would not pay the kid, and mom would not give his blessing. I know another school with a reputation for being squeaky clean that cheated to get a player. Again, I can go right on with all. I know another player who specifically told me he wanted to go to Michigan State. Michigan State was his dream school, but they wouldn't match or come near the offer he was getting from another school. And I said, well, are you saying they offered you? He goes, no, they wouldn't offer me anything. I mean, so I know what they're going up against. Now, I don't know if you saw at this FBI trial, which I think has the potential to blow college sports wide open. It is now talking about football players getting paid, but Marvin Bagley and Zion Williamson's names have come up. You're an attorney by trade. Talk about this trial and what's happening.
Sure. So there's a criminal trial, and a criminal trial is specific to crimes. Criminal trials are not from a person like you or me against another person. They're from the state or from the government. They play by different rules. And what's happening right now is that testimony under oath is being provided by a lot of people who've done a lot of dirty things in college basketball. And most recently, we've seen it start to spread into allegations of college football. This could blow the whole thing wide open depending on how far it goes. There's a couple of paths that could take it far. What does the NCAA do to investigate, if anything? What do the schools do to investigate, if anything? I got to think there may be a school or two that doesn't like this and will do something. But ultimately, what does the government and state governments decide to do? Do they take a look hard at people who've done some things over time? There's some statute of limitations issues that may be in play, meaning how long do you have before you can't charge somebody with a crime? That may come up here in different states and in different situations. But what you're seeing right now is kind of what we have thought has gone on for a while, but now it's to a level that's pretty extraordinary. College basketball is lucky that people pay so much attention to the NFL draft and other things. It's lucky that it's kind of slid as a sport in terms of prominence down towards the bottom of the second tier. But there is going to be an earthquake if they get this thing, if they get it in college basketball. There's going to be an earthquake. College basketball has lacked so much leadership for so long. Some of the best people in the sport seem to know it. They may not have a choice much longer. Somebody may come in there and tell them, you've got to behave differently, because what you have projected there about student athletes being recruited to play college basketball is too much of a sham too often at the highest levels of college sports.
I was told recently that by a college administrator that their belief is that the NCAA is holding on, just hoping that this doesn't resonate with the public. Do you agree with that?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. The NCAA is like a guy at a bar that's been served too much that is asked to leave. He's not going to put up a fight when he's first walking away from the stool towards the door. Once he gets towards the door is when you're going to see him resist it all. The NCAA looks like they're doing everything they can to stay afloat and stay in business. The federal government and to some extent the state governments may have an opportunity to destroy and explode that. Regardless of what they do, when are the people at college basketball going to grow up and lead their sport? they can't fix basic things on the court like moving the three-point line, getting the jump shot back in, figuring out what is a foul, what is not a foul, and or adding a sixth foul to each player's lineup card. How in the world are they going to address these kind of issues? I don't know. But what they've done is they've spoiled what is a fantastic sport. It's rotted from the inside. It's kind of rotting from the outside. And now during this summer months, there's going to be so many college basketball fans that take a look at this, and they're not going to be too concerned. The core fans are, by and large, going to stick right with it. But the average sports fan who had college basketball in a certain level in their minds about what kind of sport and what kind of game it is, they're going to kind of have to throw that completely to the side because it's been exposed. All that dirty laundry has washed ashore.
He is the Spartan Nation senior writer, the great Johnny Shop. Know him, love him, appreciate him. He joins us each and every week talking about the state of Michigan State athletics. Next week, we're going to dig in on a very interesting topic, the future of MSU football with John Shop next week.